Firstly, let's get a few things we can hatch. And let's try a few directions of hatching and compare the effect. This is hatching and not cross-hatching because the lines all go in the one direction. When we cross-hatch, we cross them with another line of hatching. Which you think as the artist works best? There is no right answer, and there's no same answer for every drawing situation. The direction we hatch should change as what we're drawing is changing. And the most helpful underlying principle is hatch in a direction that reflects the form, the underlying form of the surface that we're applying the hatch marks to. I would most commonly use this hatching. However, sometimes we have detail on this surface that might be a few columns and a few windows that are going to get lost with so much hatching in the same direction as the main lines. So in that case, I'm more likely to use this hatching, not at 45 degrees as we have here, something that is closer to being vertical, and therefore, I suppose, closer to my first option, but one which allows the detail to show through more clearly. So we're always juggling various factors. This is the one I would use next most, where the hatching direction is actually reflecting the perspective angles that we get up and down the plane. Because if we wanted to hatch in another direction, such as here, it starts to get confusing. And so changing the line direction can be an option that makes clearer the underlying form. I see this one as the weakest because while it provides value, it darkens the area. It does so in a way without any regard for the underlying form. What about cross-hatching? Let's try a range of options again and see what works best. Personally, I don't cross-hatch if hatching is adequate. But if I feel like I need to cross-hatch to either create distinction between adjacent areas or to create a darker value, this is the one I'm more likely to go to. With an angle that's reasonably shallow to create a darker effect, with this one, it bears no relation to the underlying form. In the top one, it's more like this one where we have 45-degree angled lines crisscrossing. In this one down here, we have a slightly angled line in one direction and a slightly angled line in the other direction. And here we have this one reflecting the perspective angles with an angled line on it. In my drawing practice, this one and this one are the two I'm most likely to use. But there is no right answer. It's what suits the purpose of the artist. We'll look at three more options, but this time on a different surface. This first one follows the principle I've been talking about of, where possible, emphasize the underlying form, the curving cross-section. However, in this third one, we're also emphasizing the underlying form, but this time the verticality, the smoothness of the pipe, and we're able to adjust our hatching and concentrate it in one spot to create the sort of gradation of light effect that we get in a cylinder. This one, we've just done diagonal hatching all the way up. And while I think this one is clearly the least effective, this is probably what I see most commonly done. But whether I would use the first or third way would depend on what I was drawing, what the surface was. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Although I've illustrated these principles on simple shapes, they work beautifully in more complex ones, where our line direction reflects the underlying form of our object. Please remember to hit the like button for me, and whatever you're drawing, whatever you're hatching, whatever direction the hatching lines are in, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.